Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to 10 Minutes Daily Cafe Chat. I am Emily.
And I am Lisa. Happy Thursday, April 16th, 2026.
Okay, I have to confess something. I was 5 minutes late leaving the house this morning.
Oh no, what happened?
A neighborhood cat started following me on my walk, like actually walking right next to me.
Oh, that is so cute.
I know, but every time I tried to walk faster, the cat sped up too. And when I stopped, it sat down and stared at me.
So you basically got escorted by a cat?
Pretty much. I couldn't just leave it, so I sat with it for a bit and rubbed its ears. Worth being late for, honestly.
Honestly, I get why the cat picked you. You have that vibe.
What vibe?
The she will definitely stop and pet me vibe. Cats can tell.
I will take that as a compliment. Anyway, we have a great lineup today. First up, there's a brand new Michael Jackson biopic, and the early reviews are incredible.
Oh, I have been waiting to hear about that.
Then, Google just made a big move with its AI tools. They're combining NotebookLM with Gemini.
Ooh, I actually use NotebookLM. I want to know what changes.
And finally, a city in China is pulling in millions of tourists, and 90% of them come just for the food.
90%? That's my kind of city.
But first, if you're new here, we chat about real news in natural English every day, just 10 minutes. Perfect for your morning coffee or your commute. Subscribe and practice with us every day. Today's keyword is spotlight. Spotlight, like being in the spotlight? Exactly. Today, every story is about something stepping into the spotlight. A legendary musician, an AI tool, and a city's food scene.
I love that. Let's get into it.
All right, so this is huge for music fans. There's a new Michael Jackson biopic simply called Michael, and it just had its world premiere at the Berlin Film Festival on April 10th. And what are people saying? The early reviews are wild. Critics are calling it dazzling, mesmerizing, and one reviewer said the lead actor's performance is genuinely uncanny. Genuinely uncanny. So he actually looks and moves like Michael Jackson on screen? That is the crazy part. The lead actor is Jafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's actual nephew. He's 29 years old, and this is his very first film role. Wait, his nephew? No wonder it feels so real. That's literally family DNA on screen. And the director is Antoine Fuqua. The movie covers everything from the Jackson 5 era in the 1960s all the way to his solo career peak in the 1980s. Oh, so we get to see Thriller, Beat It, all of that recreated? That is huge! Yes, they recreated those iconic performances, and apparently the scene with human nature is being described as a spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening from a music scene. That gave me chills just hearing about it. They shot the film from January to May 2024, so it has been in the works for over 2 years now. 5 months of filming. That must have been intense for Jafar, learning all those routines. Right? And remember, this is his first ever acting role. He went from 0 film experience to carrying an entire biopic. That is a serious production. I'm curious about the runtime, too. About 130 minutes, rated PG-13, and it opens in the US on April 24th in IMAX. Oh, PG-13, so younger fans can watch it too, which is smart. Exactly. They wanted to make it accessible to a wide audience, including a whole new generation of Michael Jackson fans. That's smart. And IMAX? I can't even imagine seeing those dance sequences on a giant screen. I'd probably cry. And the actor playing Joe Jackson is already getting awards buzz for Best Supporting Actor. Oh, wow, already? Before the wide release? That says a lot. The box office predictions are interesting too. Analysts expect about $60 million in the opening weekend. $60 million in one weekend? That sounds massive for a music biopic. It would be the second highest opening ever for a music biography film, right behind the previous record holder. So Michael Jackson is still filling seats, even now. That's the power of a true spotlight moment. Okay, next up. If you use Google's AI tools, this one is going to matter to you. Google just announced that they're folding NotebookLM into the Gemini app.
Wait, folding it in? So NotebookLM is going away?
Not exactly. It is becoming a feature inside Gemini. The new name is Notebooks, and it was announced on April 8th.
Okay, so instead of two separate apps, everything lives in one place now?
Exactly. You can sync PDFs, URLs, and even YouTube videos between both tools, so your research and your AI assistant are in the same workflow.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I used to switch back and forth between NotebookLM and Gemini all the time. It was kind of annoying.
Right, and that switching is exactly what they are trying to eliminate. One app, one workflow.
So, who gets access to this first?
Paid users. They're rolling it out to premium subscribers first and then expanding from there.
Of course, paid users first. That is how it always goes with these big tech updates.
True, but think about what this means for anyone who does research or manages projects. You upload a PDF to Gemini, and the AI can instantly pull out key points, answer questions about it, and organize your notes.
Like having a research partner that never gets tired and never forgets what you uploaded?
That is a great way to put it. And with YouTube integration, you could drop in a lecture video and get a summary in seconds.
Okay, that is actually amazing for students. Drop in a 1-hour lecture and get the highlights right away?
Exactly. Imagine being a student the night before an exam and having 3 lectures to review.
Oh, I really would have loved this in college. Instead of rewatching everything at double speed, you just get the key points instantly. That saves so much time.
Right, and the big picture here is that Google is putting AI research tools in the spotlight. Instead of scattering features across different apps, they want one powerful hub.
I like the direction. Less switching, more doing. That's real efficiency.
The question is whether it stays as powerful once everything is merged. Sometimes when companies simplify, features get lost along the way.
True. I'll definitely be watching closely to see how it actually feels once it rolls out to everyone.
All right, last story, and honestly, this one made me so hungry. A district in Chongqing, China just reported that it attracted 28.5 million tourists last year. That is a 52% jump from the year before. 28.5 million? That is an insane number. What is pulling everyone in? Food. Over 90% of those visitors said the food was their biggest reason for traveling there. 90% came just to eat. Okay, now I really need to know what they are eating. The star dish is braised goose. They sold 9.5 million servings last year, generating about $145 million in revenue. 9.5 million servings of one dish. That is not a menu item, that is an entire industry. And it went viral too. Videos of this braised goose got 1.2 billion views on TikTok and YouTube combined.
1.2 billion views on a goose dish? I have to look this up after the show.
The hashtag alone got over 500 million views worldwide. But it's not just the goose. They also have hot pot, grilled fish, and stone-ground tofu. Stone-ground tofu? That sounds so artisanal. I love that. The city has been developing about 500 themed restaurants, flagship stores, and food streets since 2024 to handle all the demand. 500 new food spots? They are going all in on this. And here's the really impressive part. They created a campaign called 360 Bowls of Chongqing Flavor and actually presented it at an international tourism organization's headquarters. So this is not just local hype. They are putting their food on the global spotlight. Exactly. And they're even passing regulations to protect their food culture. China's first ever hot pot industry regulation goes into effect on May 1st this year. A law specifically for hot pot? What does it actually regulate? Things like ingredient standards, broth quality, and food safety across the entire hot pot supply chain. They want to make sure the quality stays high as the industry grows. That actually makes sense. When something gets this popular this fast, you need rules to keep it authentic. That's how seriously they take their food. Their total online impressions hit 1.7 billion. The promotional videos alone got over 160 million views. Those numbers are unreal. This is food tourism on a completely different level. I'm adding Chongqing to my travel list right now. What a show today. A Michael Jackson biopic that critics are already raving about, Google putting its AI tools under one roof, and a Chinese city where food is the ultimate tourist magnet.
Honestly, the biopic story got me the most excited. Knowing that his actual nephew is playing him and that reviewers are saying it is genuinely uncanny, I have to see that opening weekend.
For me, it was the Chongqing story. The idea that 28.5 million people traveled somewhere primarily to eat is just incredible. Food has that kind of power to bring people together.
And the NotebookLM merge is exciting from a practical standpoint. Anything that cuts down the number of apps I need open, I am all for it.
What ties them all together is our keyword, spotlight. The biopic puts Michael Jackson back in the spotlight, decades later.
Google is putting AI research tools in the spotlight by bringing them together into one powerful app.
And Chongqing's food scene is stepping into the global spotlight with billions of views and international recognition.
When something truly deserves the spotlight, people notice, whether it's music, technology, or incredible food.
And what I love about today's stories is that none of these spotlights were accidental. Someone had to build them. Jafar trained for years, Google invested in merging their tools, and Chongqing built 500 restaurants. That is so true. The spotlight finds you, but only after you put in the work. Well said. Now, here's our question for you, listeners. If they made a biopic about your life, who would you want to play you?
Oh, I already know my answer. I would want to play myself, but I would definitely need a stunt double for all the action scenes.
What action scenes? Your life is not an action movie, Lisa.
You do not know that. Maybe there's a surprise car chase in my future.
Fair enough. Drop your answer in the comments. We love reading them. And if you enjoyed today's episode, give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's chat.
See you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye.